Hello, welcome anyone who's watching. I'm really excited to launch my channel once again with Pikmin 2, a game I'm extremely passionate about. Uh, I've been playing for years, and I thought it'd only be appropriate to make a few videos about a challenge run where I try and lose no Pikmin. Uh, well, I think it's a great time to get started. I'm going to start off by showing the intro cutscene, and then we'll meet back with the beginning of the game. So, we are tasked to go back to the Pikmin planet and repay our debt. That we had no, we didn't do anything to earn that debt. I don't even know how it could get that bad, but I'm not gonna complain because now we get to explore this lovely area again and revisit some of our favorite creatures. Uh, in the case of most cutscenes, I'm gonna try and skip them unless they're like relevant to the story. Like right now, we're recognizing that, oh, the Pikmin are still here. But for other things that might talk about instructions, I'm gonna try and skip because I will probably be doing a lot of explaining as we go. This is one I probably should have skipped because it's telling us about some controls. The main gimmick with Pikmin is you're controlling a big group and you're throwing them, calling them back to you. It's a very interesting idea I haven't really seen with many other games. And one major difference in Pikmin 2 is the fact that you have two captains. In the first game, it was just Captain Olimar. But now we have Louis. He's a little bit more dull compared to Olimar, but still a worthwhile companion to have. Aw. Pikmin are so adorable. Apparently, Louis does not agree because his eyes bug out. Or, actually he's drooling because, they look like carrots. I think that's the whole reason they got their name, canonically, was they look like a certain brand of carrots from the universe called Pick Carrots. But yeah, a lot of cutscenes to start with, but we're just gonna kind of get started. There's not much to say about this first day. It is pretty simple, not many hazards. The Bulborb, one of the enemies that we're fighting before, can't even kill a Pikmin in this first day. In this cutscene showing that we can reproduce Pikmin. So we're gonna start having larger armies and controlling many different creatures at once. But yeah, I think one of my main goals with this playthrough is to, show more people Pikmin 2, because, there's a lot of people that I feel like are aware of the series, but never really gave it a shot, or, aren't very interested. And I think it's one of my favorites of all time. So just trying to get the word out there about this game and the whole series in general. And also to give you some some tips on how, well, just like, I don't know, just tips on getting better at this game. I wouldn't say I'm amazing or at any level as a speedrunner or anything. Oh, there's a treasure, by the way. But after playing this game many times, I've started to learn different tricks, and I've gotten some tips and tricks from other people. And maybe if you're interested in playing this game, I could also share those details with you. It's just saying that this is our first treasure, but I think we should reunite with other captain first. You can freely switch between the two captains, which is going to let you multitask in this game, which is probably the best way to go faster and be better with time management, even though time's not going to be very important in this game. So not sure if I should avoid spoilers, but it might be good to skip ahead if you're not wanting to spoil the first game. But the first one is very time sensitive. You only have 30 days to escape the planet since you crashed down. They kind of summarize the story in the first few minutes. But yeah, Olimar crashes down on the planet, and the Pikmin help him get back. And now we're back to get treasure. But in this game, since it's just a treasure hunt, even though the idea of a debt might seem like it's time sensitive, you have as much time as possible. So you can carry back both enemies and plants to reproduce Pikmin. And one great thing about having multiple captains is plucking multiple Pikmin at a time. And honestly, that was one of the most frustrating features about Pikmin 1, was how slow plucking was. And, you know, they do all kinds of stuff to really make the series more playable throughout. Pikmin 1, 2, and 3. They really cleaned it up in Pikmin 3, but yeah, it's not bad having another captain to pluck. It just makes this whole process faster. But we're gonna have to wait around for a second for these Pikmin to carry back the treasure to the ship. So I don't know. I'll have to think about something to talk about. Commentary has definitely been a lot harder than I expected. I did do videos on my channel in the past. I've posted 4 ever. And one of them was a video of me playing Brawl as a channel introduction, and then 3 others were like my attempt at a Let's Play for Kirby Return to Dreamland. They're all recorded from my 3DS. So yeah, they weren't very good, and I deleted them out of embarrassment. Really wish I had them, because it's kind of a crazy time capsule. It's shown that I've been very interested in creating content for a long time. So yeah, one thing he's saying is he's gonna name all of the items, which is a staple in the series. Later games will have interesting names for different treasures. And I think one of the coolest parts about this game is there's a lot of product placements, and we'll probably discuss more on why they're there, but they're really cool. You'll see all kinds of different treasures with recognizable brands. I'm kind of surprised they even did this, but I think it's cool. As you saw from the Duracell battery. And what you're seeing here is kind of a daily process where we're going to land on a planet, we're going to collect treasure, and then when the day runs out, we have to get all of our Pikmin back together by nighttime, because the planet is much more dangerous at night. But this is our first actual day. We're going to have a time limit and everything. We're actually going to go and explore the world, and as you can already see, there's much more to do. I was just going to skip that because that's just telling us to get our Pikmin out of the onion. So yeah, the game has already started opening up. This whole day is going to be about getting our numbers up. You can do a lot with a small group of Pikmin. It's actually kind of surprising how much you can do. But I still want to raise up Pikmin because to 100% the game normally, there's usually a certain amount of Pikmin you want to have. Yeah, a certain number of Pikmin you're going to want. Yeah, there's still not a ton to talk about because the first few days you don't really get into the meat of things. There's going to be more interesting stuff going on starting today. But yeah, I think it's a good time to talk about Red Pikmin. The strategy between each game varies wildly. And Pikmin, or Red Pikmin and Pikmin 1 were widely considered to be the best. They are stronger than, or they were stronger than other types. They have a 1.5 damage modifier, I believe. So they were your main guys to take down enemies. And that still holds true. And also since they're red, they're going to be immune to fire. See you later. A little bit of a spoiler, but some of this stuff is pretty well known for the series. And one of my first tips for combat, there's going to be a lot of combat and tips revolving around that kind of stuff. Smaller enemies like Bulborbs, they only require one hit to take down. If you land directly on their back, or Pikmin on their back, they will get knocked out instantly. As you saw, I split up the captains. That's another thing you're going to be doing a lot, is you're going to be able to split up your Pikmin and your captains, and have them do different tasks at the same time. I think it's one extremely great improvement compared to the first game. It allows there to be bigger areas and have like more time to cover it. I think Pikmin 3 honestly does this even better with 3 different captains and using the gamepad to like control one's path. It's brilliant. I think the Wii U did a great job with Pikmin 3. But for now, we kind of have to directly control each captain, which is still not bad. As you can see, we have a very large Bulborb there. I think that's the biggest hurdle in the no death run so far. There's easier ways to take down Pikmin, or not Pikmin, enemies, but we're not quite there yet. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge to deal with at first. And, you know, I played this game a lot, but there's still the possibility that I will lose Pikmin. I think in those cases I might reset. I'll still we're going to play it by ear. Hopefully I just don't even need to make that decision. But who knows? We'll see right now. Come on. Oh, he was about to chomp. We made it just in time. So we're gonna swarm up our Pikmin. Oh, we do not have enough. But I think it's important to raise our numbers now. I guess I'll just have Louis stay back for recon. Or not for recon, for gathering up these Pikmin once they're done. Once again, this is another kind of slow day. There are very few things to accomplish today. And kind of just getting those out of the way will really open up everything. And further days, we'll have a lot more to do, so there won't be tons of downtime. It still happens, and you know, I'll figure out how to deal with that if it's cutting or speeding up somehow. I'm still very new to everything, so once again, I'm playing it by ear. Look at that, 64 Pikmin. Oh. I think it's gonna be a great time to go get that treasure. Well, one thing I'm a little surprised about is the fact that Louie is not an alternate costume for Olimar in Smash. I think Louie is quite an interesting character, and I honestly don't really care for the Pikmin 3 captains as much. You know, I'm more invested with everyone else. I don't know, it would be fun to see him as a costume one day, but who knows when another Smash game's gonna come out. I mean, this one's not even done. Oh yeah, let's move forward while that is happening. So yeah, as the ship was explaining, this is a hole. A brand new mechanic to Pikmin 2 are holes or caverns. Let's try and avoid inappropriate humor due to that. They're going to be a huge element of this game. You're going to be traveling through caverns and exploring them and seeing all kinds of new stuff that you've never seen before in Pikmin 1, because you didn't get to do that in Pikmin. We're going to be seeing all kinds of brand new interesting stuff down there, and it's going to be the main source of our treasures. Now entering, you need to have all your Pikmin that you want to travel with you in your party, so we're gonna have to walk there. Okay, we have our team grouped together. It's time to explore our first hole, called the Emergence Cave, sorry. Yeah, and we have all our Pikmin entering. And they have sub-levels. So, we'll get more into that, but this cavern alone is not it. Okay. So, we can already see enemies we've never seen in the first game. I think these are spotty dual bulborbs? I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember all the variants. But, you know, they're small enemies. They're going to have the same strategy work. You can land Pikmin right on top of them. And we have a treasure. Citrus lump. So one interesting thing is we don't have the onion down here, which is where we put enemies and stuff like that. So you might wonder what will happen if we bring an enemy to the ship. Well, we're gonna find out. How exciting. So, I find it a little odd that beasts or enemies are not worth that much at all. I find it, the pricings in this game in general, I would consider odd, but you know, I'm not the society valuing these treasures. We have a 7-Up bottle cap there. And that sound notifies that we have no more treasures to collect on the floor. But as I was saying, I would find it interesting, or I find it interesting that they don't value the beast very highly, because I would personally want to research alien creatures. I would pay top dollar, honestly. So yeah, these caves have sublevels. And this one is only 2 sublevels. But as we will quickly get to... Oh, I almost lost one. We will quickly find out that they're never gonna get this small again. The caves are a new mechanic, but also pretty brutal. In terms of difficulty, I don't think any of the games are that difficult, but this game has, you know, the caves are very tricky, I would say. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Yeah, so if Pikmin are eaten, you can kill the enemy quick enough and recover them. But yeah, the caves are definitely going to be the hardest. It's going to play a lot of tricks and traps. I don't want to spoil all of them. But I think the other games are more tricky when it comes to combat or the time. But I think this game kind of is difficult in the sense that, you know, well, I think we'll get to it. I don't want to reveal too much, because this game has a lot of devious surprises for people. But look, it's a brand new Pikmin type. They were unseen in Pikmin 1 because, you know, you didn't get to go underground, and now we have these purple Pikmin. So, as he mentions, they're very heavy and very strong. In fact, I believe they have a 4 times damage modifier, which, other than, you know, the fire hazards that reds can deal with, they pretty much do the red Pikmin's job completely. They're kind of made obsolete, other than a few obstacles that we will face in the game. But yeah, they pretty much take the role of damage dealer in the group. And this treasure that was otherwise impossible can now be carried, since each purple Pikmin counts as 10 in terms of carrying items. As you may have noticed earlier, they're also much slower. But it's not to the point where they're any less powerful than they already are. So, interesting that we have this globe treasure. And notice, it's a globe and it's not flat. Just want to make sure we weed those kinds of people out of this video and this channel, if there are any. Sphere chart. A lot of these treasures that we're going to be collecting are going to act as power-ups, and this is one of them. we're going to be able to explore a new area tomorrow. And, this leads to one of the elements I love so much about this series is the treasures in this game, and the map, or the world maps imply that this is a post-apocalyptic Earth. I find that super interesting. I don't think many other Nintendo games have done that. I think Splatoon and maybe Kirby kind of throws hints there, but I think it's a really cool idea. I was gonna skip that because, I can explain. It's a geyser. It's gonna be our method of escape from these caves. They are typically at the bottom of the dungeon. Yeah, our first cave complete. Pretty easy. The whole rest of the game is gonna be that easy, I can assure you. Also, fun little note, if you stay on that menu, when you get all the treasures for a cave, you can hear a Totaka song after like 2 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna, or not we, but the ship's gonna cut us short. We still had a little bit of day left, and there's some mechanics that happen at the end of the day, but we're not gonna see that yet. He's gonna make us stop and continue tomorrow. But you know what? I think I agree with the ship. I think now is a good time to stop. Uh, the next day, we will get a new area to explore. A lot of things are gonna finally start to open up. We're doing great progress. No Pikmin lost. It's the whole goal. But we're still gonna have a lot to do to open up the whole world. But I think that's a good first step. So I will see you next time. When we visit the Awakening Woods for the first time.